All right, we've got snow now on the Appalachian Trail, heading just off of Blood Mountain, and this is going to be interesting. I got to hurry up and set up my camp, but got a good snow coming down now. It's not sticking on the roads, but it's sticking on the trail. So hopefully I can get that tent set up and get camp going. I don't know if Anne Marie's going to be able to come up here and meet me tonight or not. She's doing a good job on the creek crossing. That's what these trekking poles are for. Great job, babe. I bought this 4-man hooligan tent from Coleman at their outlet store. I think I paid 30 bucks for it. It was an incredible deal. It's a 4-man tent. A lot of good airflow and suspension. It's got a very roomy vestibule inside. I don't have a decent footprint. I just brought a piece of Tyvek from the house and put underneath it. Inside, it's got quite a bit of room. Couple pockets that you can use. It's got a shelf on top right up there in the corner that you can use, but very roomy, very nice. Obviously this is not backpacking gear. It's heavy, but when you're close to the car, these type of things work well. And I like to make my wife happy, and I don't think the 2-man tent makes her all that happy. So we'll look at this. Heavy rain and snow flurries. It's warmed up a little bit. Hey, just a tip, if you're going to do a tent site at Vogel, some of the tents are raised platforms, so you better make sure you've got a tent that'll stand on its own, otherwise you could be in big trouble. They have some photographs. If you get your reservation on the website, pay very close attention to the photographs and see if there's a platform in the picture. Sometimes there is, and if there is, you better have a standalone tent. If you're looking for some real seclusion away from the parking areas, the map is pretty true to form. So G, H, and I are really good spots. None of them are platforms. They're all level ground spots. Tent site M as in Mary. Really good location. It's a little closer to the parking if you need that, but it's right next to the beautiful babbling creek. You can kind of see the snow flurries coming down, and it's got a very large tent space. So if you're bringing the family and then some, you've got a really nice sized picnic table. It'd probably seat about 8. And you could easily sleep on site M as in Mary. You could probably easily sleep 10, 12. One of the reasons that I chose this site to camp with my wife is she's very pro restroom. So instead of having to do it in the woods, they've got very nice restroom facilities here. It's also handicap accessible. So if you've got somebody wheelchair bound or whatever, it's available to them as well. There's toilets and showers in there, and it's heated. I'm trying out my new Solomon Triple Crown trail runners. I just bought them a couple months ago, and I've been working them out at home, and they'll get a little bit of a workout this weekend. There are a lot of good trails out here to catch. The Byron Reese Trail is a very short one. Bear Hair Gap is, I think, about 4 miles, and the Coosa backcountry is somewhere around 13. So a lot of good hiking depending on how far you want to go. This is black bear country, and they're very serious about it. If you bring food or whatever with you, make sure you take it out. If you're going to pack it in, pack it out. If you allow the bears to have food, they start losing their fear of the humans, and then you've got real problems. Vogel State Park is the second oldest park in the state of Georgia. It was donated by the Vogel family. Nice little observation deck overlooking the creek. A lot of rain lately, so there's a lot of water in these creeks. Drinking water is not going to be a problem. This is the Byron Herbert Reese Nature Trail. It's only a short jaunt around. It's a circle, little loop. Shows you the various trees and has little platforms that have the names on them. There's a little plaque up here. Reese was a mountain farmer and a poet. He died in 1958. You know, it's 30-something degrees here. Probably a little over freezing. One of the things that you need to pay attention to is what to wear. Bring a day pack with you. I've got mine on, and I can keep my water in there. I can keep food, flashlight. I always keep my knife attached to my body. If I fall down a cliff or ravine or whatever, I got my knife with me. My Swiss Army knife that my daughter gave me. It's got all the attachments on it. But it's important to have something to carry some gear. I've got some gloves back there. I've got another layer if I need it. I don't really. I have a long sleeve thermal layer on the bottom. I have this nice marmot top with all the pockets in it, snaps in the front, and then I just threw this vest over the top of that. Best way to find out whether you have the right clothing or not is when it gets really cold at home. Make sure that you're out there walking, and put some gear on and figure out what makes you sweat, what makes you comfortable. And you don't have to have a pack on, but just put on your various layers and go out walking in very cold temperatures. That's the quickest way to find out exactly how much you're going to need. But always bring spare materials, tops, maybe even some flannel bottoms, not flannel bottoms, but acrylic bottoms, and maybe even another hat in case you lose the one you've got, and some gloves definitely in cold weather just in case. But it never hurts. But that's the best way to find out what's too much gear and what's not enough gear. Go ahead and walk out in your neighborhood, walk several miles in that gear. You'll start seeing, if you start sweating almost immediately, you know you need to pare it down. If you're still cold after about 2 miles, then you know you need to up it during that temperature. So, you know, that's how you do it. But Best way to figure that out is not when you get out here. It's just when you get in your subdivision and start walking around. In the Appalachian Mountains, your view is always going to be better in the wintertime because the leaves are down and it's more unobstructed. A lot of people don't like camping in the winter. I love it. I can hike further. I have more endurance. I have to consume less water, and I get some spectacular views. So, something to think about during the winter period. I love big trunks. I cannot lie. A very recent fall. A lot of dirt in that root. Big tree. A lot of awesome power when those things fall. The park does a nice job of blazing the trails, and they look to be very well maintained. And there's a gelatinous blob on the tree branch here. There's the hardened form of it on the bottom. Nature at its gooeyest. It's just so incredibly gorgeous. You could take this picture on nearly the entire Bear-haired Trail. It's just absolutely incredible, especially with all this rain. The water's just white and moving as fast as it can. Beautiful. Just a reminder on the Appalachian Trail, between March 1 and June 1, the federal government requires you to have a bear-proof food container. And they suggest in the code, in the statute, that it has to be a manufacturer's brand bear container for the sole purpose of preventing bears from getting in your food. So if you're going to do the Appalachian Trail, you got to have your container March 1 through June 1. The tree man is desperately trying to get out of the tree. You can see the head, and he's pulling through with his arms, and he's trying to pull out of the trunk of the tree, but the poor tree man doesn't look like he's going to have much success. Just absolutely incredible. That tree is literally growing right over the rock and standing tall. It's amazing that that tree's even still standing. Love the restroom facility. Wonderful showers. 2-tier. Got a nice bench for changing. Got a changing station if you have children. The toilet and the sink. And it's all heated.
Or less with localized spots up to 1/2 inch and mainly limited to grassy and elevated surfaces. Light snow may mix with rain during the afternoon hours as surface temperatures warm. Any light accumulations are expected to melt during the afternoon hours. No impacts are expected. Prepare for reduced visibility from snow showers and isolated slick spots on elevated surfaces such as bridges. Your
All right, getting ready to have some dinner. I do have my gray pullover, which is just incredible. This is all wool. I'll put this on tomorrow morning, but I'm going to put it in my sleeping bag. I'll sleep with it, and I've got my whole sleeping set over here. I've actually got 2 sleeping bags. My wife was coming, but the weather was just too bad. I'll also be sleeping with my water bottles and trying to keep them in from freezing. So I'll put those in the sleeping bag with me, and hopefully that'll keep it all where it needs to be. Let's go to plan B. There we go. I'm going to try to put some hot chocolate on. Get that into my body, warming things up first. And then hydrate the food and get that going. It's going to get down into the 20s Fahrenheit. Huh. My lighter just flat out let go. So I'm going to have to use the other one, I guess. I may have to throw sparks on this thing. But I'm going to let that go. Get some hot chocolate going. I have these nice koozies that I made for the pot. My daughter helped me make them. Keep it warm, so when I warm up my dinner, I'll put them in the koozies and let it stay warm. That's got it for right now. I'll let that boil. I've got my favorite. I've got the spiced drinking chocolate, and it's cinnamon and chili. This is the Treehouse Originals. If you haven't tried these, you really need to. They are incredible. Well, I can hear snow starting to hit the top of the tent. By 4 a.m. we're supposed to get, it's really supposed to come down. And They said 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So we'll look for that. I've got my headgear on, which I really like this piece. It's got drawstrings next to my chin. I can just pull those drawstrings in. It'll just tighten a little hole up right around my nose and my mouth, and works out real well. So I'll be wearing that tonight, and I'll take the hat off, of course, with a flashlight on it. I may, if I want to, I can always put my beanie on top of that. Otherwise, I'll just put my beanie in the tent and sleep with it. And I'm dying to get that hot chocolate going in my body and get warmed up. Got my water all hot now. Put that in my cup. A lot of steam coming off because of the cold air. I'll stir in my hot chocolate, and then I'll put the water on for my food and get that hydrating. All right, I'm going to hydrate these. This is broccoli. I do my own dehydrating. It's so much better than what you buy at the store. Black-eyed peas I'll put in there. I've got some great mushrooms that I'll add to it. And then I've got a maple bacon sauce that I'll add in there. And remember, if you do this sauce, always put the sauce on top. Put everything else on the bottom of the pan and put the sauce on the top. And I'll probably put a little oil in the bottom of the pot just to keep everything from sticking. This is the maple bacon sauce. When you do it like this, it's often referred to as leather because it has a leathery texture to it. But I take salsas and everything else, dehydrate it, and then I fold it several times. I have a round dehydrator, fold it several times, and then I vacuum seal it. So what you want to do is just break these pieces up into smaller pieces, and it will help it break down. And then you just put that on top of everything else, and you're good to go. This tent has a huge vestibule, which is really, really nice. And I'm actually doing all my little cooking out here in the vestibule. Now, I've got enough airflow that I don't have to worry about gases inside the tent or anything like that. You can see there's a 2 inches from the ground up on the vestibule. So that's really not a factor. And but you always have to be careful when you're using stuff like that. But anyway, a lot of room, a lot of space. Well, unfortunately, the hot chocolate doesn't even appear to be hot. Even though it's steaming like crazy, it just tastes lukewarm. But I'm going to drink it anyway, I need it. But just the amount of time that it took me to fill up the water and hydrate the dinner, the hot water, boiling hot water, and the hot chocolate cooled down. All right, I've brought everything to a boil, and it's amazing. Look how the black-eyed peas, the broccoli, it looks like it just came from the grocery store. The mushrooms just look incredible. There's some of the mushrooms. Good eating. All right, this will go into the pot koozie, and I will let it sit for 10 minutes. Put the lid on it, and put the koozie lid on top of that, and that will sit for 10 minutes, and then it's eating time. All right, the pot koozie did its job. Kept my meal nice and warm. I ate all that. Now I'm going to snuggle in. It's going to get into the low 20s probably, and they said by 4 a.m. we should have maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow coming in. So we'll see. And then it's supposed to warm up a little bit Saturday afternoon. We'll see. It didn't do it much today. But anyway, great meal. Love that hot chocolate, and then I've got some nice cozy stuff to sleep in, and then I've got my big wool pullover that I'll wear first thing in the morning to kind of get my body warmed up and going. Sleeping with my water bottle, my batteries, my gas canister, anything that needs to be kept warm, it's all in the bed with me. Just now waking up. It's 25 degrees outside. All right, 25 degrees outside. It's about 7:30, and sleeping bag worked real well. I had that queen size sleeping bag that I was going to use for my wife and I, and then I also had my down pullover bag, and I used both of them. I just stuck one inside the other. It was great. Took my socks off, pants off, didn't have to wear gloves. I stuck my cell phone inside, I turned it off and stuck it inside my insulated glove to try to keep it warm. None of my water froze, which was good. I kept the water in the sleeping bag with me. I kept the fuel in the sleeping bag with me. So hopefully we're good to go. But I'm burning through these batteries really, really quick. Plenty of water on site, so I'm gonna go get some water. And Anne-Marie's on her way, so she'll be here shortly. And I'm gonna try to get some stuff done before she gets here. The snow was a little late in getting here. Supposed to be here early in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock now, and it's really starting to come down now. But I've got on my wool covering for camp. Got a hood on it, and let me tell you, if you get cold in this, there's just no helping you. It's just that good. It's a pullover. It's got a zippered compartment in the front. It's got kangaroo pockets to keep your hands warm if you lose your gloves or forget your gloves. But it's a dynamite piece of equipment, which is really good if you're camping not too far from the car. And if you're gonna have really, really cold temperatures, it's 25 or so now, degrees Fahrenheit. And you know, if you get around here or less, it's even worth probably putting in your backpack, strapping it to the backpack, because nothing can keep that body heat in like this wool can. And it's fantastic. My wife liked mine so much, I had to give her mine and I had to go buy another one. So well worth it. And the difference in price in some of these is like, you know, $300–400. So make sure you do your shopping, and if I can remember, I'll post something in the details where I got mine. But anyway, we've got snow. It's official, coming down pretty good. We had just a dusting yesterday, but today it's going to come down. We're going to do the Bear Hair Trail, 4 miles, and when Anne-Marie gets here. And I'm hoping she gets here soon, because the roads are going to start icing up with the snow hitting the ground. All right, we've got full-blown snow now, and somebody joined me. I don't know if she's going to be happy by the end of this or not, but we'll see. It's cold, but the tent's gathering a lot of snow, and I'm trying to keep it off of it because I'm not sure how much weight that tent can hold. But the snow is coming down pretty furiously, as you can see. We're getting a lot of coverage now, and we're going to try our hand at hiking. All right, it's starting to get real out here, and that's the trail right ahead of us. So we're going to hit that trail. That's the Bear Hair Trail. Do you have any regrets?
Why is it called Bear Hair?
No, she has no regret. All right, we're off to a good start. Not very chilly. I think body heat's keeping. These wool covers are working out great, wool pullovers, and we're off. The snow continues to fall. and a couple creek crossings. We've had a lot of heavy rain, and luckily the rain has subsided a little bit to allow the creeks to go down.
You mean snow?
Otherwise, no, I mean rain.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, we would be in trouble because the creek would be higher from the rainfall.
Ah.
So here we go. Here's another one, but you can see it's fairly shallow. So we'll just scale right through it. She's doing a good job on the creek crossing. That's what these trekking poles are for. Great job, babe. Okay, this is the assessment. What do you think? We just finished the Bear Hair Trail. About 4 inches of snow.
Yes.
A lot more snow than we thought it was going to be. And going downhill was pretty difficult. What did you think?
I thought it was the longest 4 miles I've walked in a long time.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. That was a good thing.
It really was. A lot of beautiful scenery, but it's slippery.
And uphill was challenging.
Uphill was tiring, but going downhill was treacherous. We both fell once going, I was going downhill. I think you just had a slide.
Yes, but at least we didn't fall in the water, so that was good.
Yeah, the creek crossings were a little more tricky because it had rained a lot in the previous week. So, matter of fact, we even had a severe weather warning. So that was really something that was unexpected, was the creek water was as high as it was. But my shoes are absolutely soaked. And so I wore the wrong shoes, actually. I wasn't thinking it was gonna be snowing. The original forecast was gonna be rain, and it snowed instead. That's fine, but I just gotta figure out a way to dry out my shoes. Final thoughts?
I think it was fun. You just have to be careful on those high parts, are slippery, and the downhill. Both are slippery.
All right, well, we're gonna go eat something.
Okay.
Nice and toasty, keeping the feet warm over the fire. Got my wool socks all dried out, and my compression socks dried out. Fire's great, and nothing gets the wool socks drier than keeping them close to the fire. Getting that foot warm and then sticking it back in the shoe. Hopefully you keep your shoes dry. Mine were soaked, but they dry very, very quickly. They were the Solomon Triple Crown trail runners, and they were really, really good about drying out very, very quickly. All right. I'm not sure how much battery we have here, but We're awake on Sunday morning. We survived the snowpocalypse. How did it work? Did you survive?
I survived.
She had cold toes all night long. I know that because she kept telling me all night long that she had cold toes. But anyway, it's probably about around freezing. It's 7:30, I believe, in the morning. And so we'll get up, but luckily the roads are going to be about 50 degrees. The temperature will be about 50 degrees, so the road should be fairly melted by the time we leave. And we'll get in one little short hike around the nature area and then pack it all up. But it was a great little snow experience. We loved it. Would you do it again?
Sure.
She said sure she'd do it again. I don't know, we'll see.